Hi, I'm Danny and these are my Diecast Disasters. In this video I'm going to be restoring and customizing a Hot Wheels VW Bug. Hot Wheels have produced these from 1989 until today. This blue version is from 1999 and there was some sort of beach tampos on it. And it said Ola del Sol on it. What a tough, chunky little model. Let's take it off the turntable and have a closer look. Blue paint on there is actually in pretty sweet condition. Those tampos are mostly rubbed off. Somebody's written something on the bonnet there with a marker. Windscreen's in good condition there. It's got a really solid metal base on it. What does that say? CC or something? Anyway, yeah, it's all in pretty good condition. Just needs a good tidy up and a repaint, really. I'll start out drilling out those posts so that I can take it apart. There we go. The bottom pops off. And I can take out the interior and the windscreen there. And there we go, with that taken apart I can use some paint stripper to remove the paint off of the casting. And here it is. It was actually pretty thick, stubborn paint. It took about 20 minutes to dissolve enough to wash off. And there's still the odd scrap of paint on there, so I'm going to finish up giving it a clean up with a wire brush on my rotary tool. This will get rid of the oxidation as well. There we go, it's looking nice and clean. There's a few rough areas on this casting. In general it could do with a bit of a sand down, but there's also these bad casting lines. I use a half round needle file to work these down. And once the bulk of them's gone, I finish off with some sandpaper. I think I'm using 800 grit sandpaper here. And there's some similar casting lines on the front guards as well. They're not as bad as the rear, but I'll still file them away. And here it is after a bit of a tidy up. Hoping that's looking a little bit smoother. Now I can move on and paint it. I'm going to be doing a candy colour burst sort of paint job. So I start with some black primer. And then I painted it in a chrome. This is Vallejo Metal Colour Chrome. Now I can move on to the candies. I start with a candy yellow. I'm going to be going darker towards the rear of the car, so the next layer is a dark candy yellow. Next a candy orange, starting to look nice. Next was a candy red. And finally I added candy magenta right on the tail there. I'm pretty happy with that. I finished it off by painting in some details, door handles and lights, etc. And then it was given a gloss coat. Onto the base now. I begin by cutting these axles so that I can take the old wheels out. I'll be replacing them with some aftermarket ones. And then all I did with this base was gave it a really good burnishing with the wire wheel on my rotary tool, and I left it at that. Now onto the interior. Here it is. I'll give this a custom paint job. Again, I start with some black primer. Then I painted it silver. And I just detailed the seats there in red, and also the steering wheel in black. Here's the windscreen. No cracks or anything in it. It's actually pretty tough, this smoky Hot Wheels plastic, but it can be a little hard to polish. So it is a bit scuffed, so I'll start out with some 2000 grit sandpaper. There we go, that's the worst of the scuffing gone. Now I'll give it a nice polish with some plastic polish. And here it is after the treatment. It's looking a bit smoother and shinier. And finally, here are those old wheels. Good lord, they're ugly. I'm going to be replacing them with some nice aftermarket ones. There they go. They do have unpainted rims though, so I'll have to paint the rims up. They were given a coat of black primer and then painted silver as well. I thought the slightly darker silver would look better than chrome on this car. And I just have to pop the tyres on. And there we go, there's our nice replacement wheels. So that's all the parts of our little Hot Wheels VW Bug done. And here they are, all refurbished, repainted and ready to go back together. Just before we take a look at the finished car, let's just take a moment to look back and be reminded of what we started with. Our worn looking little VW Beetle. It's missing most of its tampos there. Can't really tell what they were meant to be. Scruffy old wheels on it and some scuffed windscreens there. Let's give it a Sunburst makeover and see how it looks. And here it is, our finished Hot Wheels VW Bug. All the way from 1999. The old blue paint job and worn out tampos are long gone, and they've been replaced with a nice Sunburst candy paint job. It's been detailed inside and out. It's had those windscreens polished up, and of course it's got a nice new set of aftermarket wheels. I definitely think it's looking a fair bit cooler. Definitely be a head turner if you saw this drive down the road, I think. You can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Just before I go, thanks heaps to everyone for the awesome comments and likes on my videos. Extra special thanks to my Patreon supporters for helping to support the channel through Patreon. If you'd like to join them and help me keep making videos like this for you to watch, you can check out my Patreon page. There's a link in the description below, along with a link where you can get 10% off Starbond, super glues and accelerators. Thanks heaps for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to like and subscribe, hit the bell so that you get notifications, and share it with your friends.